in your opinion, in the first couple games?
I mean, a lot. We don't really have, good flow on offense. I think we kind of making things a little too easy on the defense in terms of sustained execution. I mean, we're getting some pretty good looks, myself included. Got to make more, but over the course of 48, you have to really bank on execution in this league to win at the highest level, especially against, two teams like that. So that's tough. And then defensively, obviously, you got to guard the three-point line a little bit better and, stop fouling and giving teams easy points at the free throw line. And if we can get stops and turn it into transition offense, that might help us kind of simplify the game a little bit. But, a long way to go. Staying positive, trying to figure out how to keep moving or get moving in the right direction, I should say.
What do you think is the best answer to the offensive problem?
I don't know. We just have to just focus a little bit more on what we're actually trying to do. I think sometimes when things don't go your way, you miss shots, there's a tendency to force and press and just not think. So our group's collective IQ has to get, I think, a lot better in those moments where, you're not making shots and try to get, some easy buckets, some, working together to create, good looks. And that'll come with time. We just have to understand and identify when those moments are where you can kind of let go of the rope a little bit. I mean, tonight we were down, 10 or 12 with 7-some minutes left in the third quarter. More than capable of winning a game like that. And then all of a sudden, it goes to 21 because you don't, execute an offense, and then, they give up easy threes, and then that's the ball game. So those little moments, got to, figure those out.
Steph, Connor Letourneau, San Francisco Chronicle. What's your message right now for the young guys?
This year is different, and to not feel any pressure around, Warrior teams of past. We obviously have that championship DNA, and we understand, there's expectations about, around our organization, and that's what we want. But this year's different. It's a new group of guys. We would love to have played better, these last two games, but that's not going to define our season at all. And, go win these next two, and, you're 2-2 in a road trip. So that's what you got to focus on now. Stay with it, stay composed. Again, hold yourself accountable to like the mistakes that we're making as a group, and just keep trying to get better. I think at the end of the day, we just have to make sure our effort and our competitiveness is there. And that'll help us get through some, these early growing pains.
Marcus Thompson with The Athletic. I know the history of this team is really centered on shooting, but and Steve Kerr has always said there's no such thing as a bad shot with like you and Clay and KD. But is it fair to say that you guys are taking too many threes considering the shooting ability on this offense?
I don't know if I say that. I mean, we're getting decent looks. I think we're used to some of those possessions where, years past where you get a drive and a kick and swing and somebody's getting a wide open look. Everybody's celebrating, feeling good. We're missing those possessions, but The overall execution will maybe open up some easier looks, whether it's around the basket or mid range or stuff like that, and just our overall spacing will help. Obviously Kelly and Wiggs get to the basket, use their athleticism and their speed and slashing abilities, but we all got to be in sync. And I think you watch the film against Brooklyn, there weren't that many possessions like that. I think tonight you'll probably see some of the same stuff. So we got to really identify what's a good shot versus a great shot, and how you can adjust on the fly if shots aren't going down early.
Hi, Steph. Carlos Ramirez, NBC Bay Area and Telemundo. How much of what's been wrong in these first two games do you expect will get fixed once Draymond gets back?
It obviously help in terms of high basketball IQ, and the way that Draymond can control a possession, trying to make the right pass or putting pressure on the guy's guard. And obviously defensively, we know what he brings in terms of being vocal and being a presence out there. So that will obviously help. And, we've played two really good teams who, have championship aspirations and realistically. And so we got to understand that's the level that we need to get to. We're just not anywhere close to that. So, hopefully he'll give us a boost. It's not going to be a cure-all, but we have to make the adjustments on top of infusing him into the rotation and allowing, what he does best to shine. So I expect there to be pretty good energy whenever he comes back.
Steph, you mentioned telling the younger guys that this year is different. How tough is it for you and Draymond to kind of acknowledge that early in this year, given all the success you've had in the past?
I mean, we said it going in. We've experienced everything as a team and as this core. Didn't expect it to go, this rough early, but we knew it was going to be a long process and long journey. So, and this team could look entirely different after 2 weeks, after a month, and you just got to kind of hold the ship down, and you keep yourself in the conversation. So we're still there. Like we lost. You told us going in the year you're gonna lose to Brooklyn and Milwaukee on the road. Your first two games. We're competitors. We have pride. We wouldn't have waved the white flag, but they're two tough games. So we have to understand, again. Things we need to learn quickly so that we're not having these same sound bites, after every single game. So we can control that, these last two games of the road trip, and hopefully, again, find some good positive momentum.
Hello, Steph from Puerto Rico. Obviously, the season had just started. Do you feel any pressure to make the playoffs?
Always.
Steph, how impressive has James been for you so far?
He's been awesome. I mean, for the limited time he had to prepare for the year and obviously what his last 12 months have looked like, he's playing with a lot of confidence, energy, showing a lot of his skill set. So he's fearless out there, and that helps, make that transition to the league. And, again, all the things that we kind of talked about, adjustments we need to make, hopefully that'll let him shine even more as we get more in sync and find more chemistry and just understand what we're actually trying to do out there. So it's been awesome to watch him play the way he's been playing with, his aggressiveness, and expect more of that.
You kind of alluded to it there, but do you expect more featured plays with James Wiseman in the coming games and really in the next probably half decade, including high screen action?
I mean, there's a lot of opportunity, I think, for us right now. It's just executing the simple stuff. So a lot of plays, our pet calls and stuff that we just drop the ball, on that execution. So we had to really just, I would say take it slow, but just execute the simple stuff so that you can get a little bit more intentional about highlighting James in different spots on the floor, getting EP and some scoring positions. Again, understanding just the flow of how we want to play. So all those things are right in front of us to figure out, and you got to fall in love with the challenge of what that looks like.
Hello, Steph. I would like to ask you, how big hit for your mentality as a team were these 2 losses, and do you feel that you have something to prove to the next game?
Week and some change on the road, starting the year off. We obviously know the caliber of teams we played the first 2 games, and felt like we got better even though the scores didn't really show that. And Chicago was better offensively. We struggled defensively. And then tonight was kind of the best overall game. We still can get to another level. I turned the ball over too much. And, but I think overall everybody's getting a little bit more confidence in what we're trying to do on both ends of the floor and getting comfortable, our rotations and stuff like that. And, Wiggs played amazing that beginning of that fourth quarter, and our second unit in that first 6 minutes pretty much won the game. So, guys stepped up.
You mentioned the increased comfort. Is that signified most maybe by that Wiggins off-ball screen that you got that curling 3, I think it was in the third? You seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, celebrated those, but I think our intentions and what we're trying to do are starting to show, every game.
Steph, you mentioned Andrew's performance, and obviously it's a huge lift for everybody when he plays like that. But specific to you, how much of a burden does that take off your shoulders when you're sitting there getting your rest and he's able to carry the group offensively for a stretch?
It obviously helps, but I know he's more than capable of doing it. And it's just a comfort level of, again, where, or play calls he's going to get, where his shots are going to come from, and his confidence, and, ignoring all the numbers and all the, shooting percentages and all that, because we're all capable NBA players that can do what he did tonight. So it was a huge step in the right direction. And finding that tandem kind of approach where, we're getting good shots and sustaining that, over the course of each quarter, no matter who's out on the floor. And I think him and Brad played really well off each other, especially in that fourth quarter to start putting pressure on their defense, and it was great to see.
Steph, Connor Letourneau, San Francisco Chronicle. You've now hit 72 straight free throws. What's the key to your success at the foul line, and how big of a focus is it for you getting to the foul line as much as possible this season?
I mean, just making them this routine. I've tried not to think about the streak, even though I'm getting reminded about it after every game, so it's kind of hard. But I think getting to the free throw line is always a plus, especially if we're not making shots or if the game's kind of going up and down. We're not creating, good shots. Being able to get easy points from the free throw line definitely settles us and obviously keeps us, putting points on the board. So we keep trying to do it and keep trying to make them.
How does 2-2 feel, considering how this road trip started?
It feels great. We obviously knew it was going to be a tough task those first 2 games. But, going 2-2 on a road trip in this league is, a good kind of situation. If you don't want to look at, or kind of break down each game, but for us to come out and bounce back like we did, these last 2, it's great for morale, obviously, and makes this 5-hour flight home a lot better.
Steph, how's your leg? Looks like they landed on you pretty hard.
No, that's fine. I wasn't that play. I got knee in the thigh on a screen, but I'm good.
Steph, Ryan.